racing. What the Japanese thought of America in the 60s and 70s. A child eats lots of candy and has a pet monkey. About 0.75 correct on that. The candy part's right. And I don't know, a dog, not a monkey? Pretty close. Everything else is right. Got a car that has a bird, flies out of the trunk. Blades that spin. I can cut down a forest without slowing down. All the other stuff's correct. My brother is Racer X, by the way. And my girlfriend, Trixie, brought me here on a helicopter. Pretty amazing. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. The weekend is upon us. You got to like that. A Fantasy Friday edition. Sunshine kind of in the morning, rain after lunch. What can I tell you? Same old story. Better than feels like 105. I like the rain. I like a little overcast. Get rid of the sun for a little while. I hope it didn't wreck your day, though. You know, you might be out playing golf, playing tennis, hunting, fishing, doing some landscaping, roofing, outdoor labor. You want it high and dry, not wet. Hey, this 4 o'clock hour on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program brought to you by Trey Yen. Yummy Trey Yen. I'm sure I'll be over there on the weekend. Sunday, they're open all day long. Dinner tonight, dinner tomorrow night. I highly recommend the local fresh speckled trout or flounder with the tong cho sauce. It's the whole fish, deboned, but head and tail intact. They flash fry it. Seasoned, flash fried to perfection. It's not greasy at all. It's perfect. You could eat it just like that, but they're just getting started. Ladles and ladles of their signature tong cho sauce, sweet and spicy. So good. Whole speckled trout, whole flounder, tong cho style. Try it tonight at Trey Yen, over the weekend at Trey Yen in Mandeville. The 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Trey Yen on this Fantasy Friday edition of the program. A lot going on. We got a full slate. We rock and roll all the way till 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. We crank up this party every weekday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. Learn it, love it, live it. Lock it in as one of your presets, 93.9 FM. We're on New Orleans' own 107.9 FM, 107.9 FM. 600 AM is a powerful AM signal, basically from Baton Rouge through the North Shore, Mississippi Gulf Coast, Alabama Gulf Coast, even heading over into the panhandle of Florida. 600 AM, take it with you on the road. I guess it was like a dozen, maybe going on 15 years ago, we started simulcasting this talk radio program on TV. We crank it up at 4 o'clock on Cox Channel 4, 4 p.m., Cox Channel 4, all over Louisiana. If you subscribe to Cox TV, I'm there every weekday afternoon at 4 on Cox Channel 4. You Spectrum Charter television subscribers around the state of Louisiana, Spectrum Channel 333, weekdays starting at 4. Yeah, you right. CoreyTalks.com, live streaming. Take the show with you on the road. CoreyTalks.com, to the gym, jogging, running, whatever you're doing, the hunting camp. We're on YouTube. You can watch it on your phone, watch it on your computer, anywhere you can link up to YouTube via the intranet device. We're on YouTube Live. You can check out the show after the fact on YouTube. I highly recommend that. And click to subscribe. It don't cost nothing. Tell your friends about it. Our YouTube channel, Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Coming up in about 10 minutes. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Fridays with Fletcher Mackel's going to join us. It's a Saints training camp report. Real reporters, real reports. Fletcher Mackel in a few minutes. Coming up in the 5 o'clock power hour, Michael Hecht will join us to start things off like right away, 5:06, 5:07. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. with a full slate of topics. a bunch of topics. 5:20, in about an hour and 10 minutes, we'll go to the Riverbend section of Uptown New Orleans. Our weekly visit with James Beard award-winning chef, a restaurant that is world-renowned. Frank Brigsten will join us from his restaurant, Brigtsen's in the Riverbend. Talk a little food in about an hour and 10 minutes in the 5 o'clock power hour. What have I been saying for a long time, huh? Advance notice equals cancellation. Advance notice cancellation. Advance notice cancellation. LaToya the Destroyer made a mistake. The mayor and her obnoxious junkets just does not care. The summer of 2022 for the mayor. I mean, that's lifetime of memories so far. More to come, apparently. Switzerland, French Riviera. Singapore was going to happen. Is Africa happening next month? Seems to be. Oliver Thomas is going, but paying his own way, I think. No, LaToya the Destroyer Cantrelle, she made a mistake. And I say that laughing. She announced this Singapore trip in advance. Her staff did this BS trip, this 110% junket, 110% unnecessary. Exactly what J.P. Morrell and Helena Moreno are saying on the city council. Non-essential travel, non-essential. The city doesn't gain anything from this. You can't do any kind of economic study and come up with indirect benefits, much less direct. No, there's not a single dollar or job created. Waste of time. It is a vacation for the mayor. So this BS trip announced in advance, public outcry, forced to cancel the trip. Next junket. The plane's already left Louis Armstrong International before it's announced. Africa next month. We're going. That's what the mayor's saying right now. And non-essential and essential travel, that's going to be a big sticking point. You may think this Africa trip was non-essential. I think it's essential. We're culture bearers of our city, and we're going out there to spread the message. I mean, even our, press secretary, communications director, whoever, said the mayor will continue to take trips outside of the country. It's like, wow. Continue to take trips outside the country to push New Orleans. Unless you're going somewhere and you're bringing back, hey, I just came back to XYZ company from Ghana is locating 75 real jobs to One Shell Square, the Hancock Whitney building, and taking up floors 30 through 35. I mean, it better be something like that. The jobs pay $90,000 a year. It's got to be something like that, something real, not make-believe, not fantasy. Anyway, the mayor made a big mistake. We always fight for you. No, that's not the mayor. That's me telling you on this program. I'm here. The mayor says it. I am here every day, 4 to 6, always accountable. 504-766-9480, Rouse's Markets phone lines. I'm always accountable. Always here, 4 to 6 o'clock weekdays. Always available. Never, not going to answer any questions. Not going to hide. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480, Rouse's Markets phone lines. The junkets, the $1,000 limit that the council came up with, announcing in advance, causing this cancellation of the Singapore trip. You're welcome. You're welcome. Been pushing this stuff for months. Been telling you about other entities jumping on board. That paragraph that the Times-Picayune dedicated in that article about announcing the trips in advance. J&J exterminating, mosquito-proofing your yard. I might do some grilling tonight on a Friday. Thinking about it, I might just be like, I don't feel like doing it. I'll order in or I'll go get something or meet some friends. Who knows? but I might do some grilling tonight. You know what's great? I can do grilling tonight in my yard because J&J Exterminating mosquito-proofs my yard. That means I never, ever have to worry about mosquitoes in my yard. J&J Exterminating since 1960. They know South Louisiana. They know what works. They'll come and mosquito-proof your yard. You too can get the shield. They deliver what they say every time. They deliver what they promise. Get the shield. JJEXT.com.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
JJEXT.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore in Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, help you slide. NOLAAC.com, help you slide.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms, with high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Yeah, you right. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Are you kidding me? The weekend's upon us. How about some Furies tonight for dinner? Fresh local seafood, nothing ever frozen. Local fresh seafood. Start with gumbo. Get some onion rings for the table. You won't be disappointed. The opposite, you'll be very, very happy. A perfect Friday night place. They're open till 9 p.m. Enjoy it. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie. Corey Johnson with you till 6 o'clock. Yeah, you right. LaToya the Destroyer Cantrelle and her obnoxious junkets. Made a mistake. Said she's going to Singapore in advance. As predicted, public outcry. Trip canceled. Muy bueno. Hey, coming up in the 5 o'clock Power Hour, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. will join us. And a little after that, Frank Brigsten on the program from his restaurant in the Riverbend. Yeah, you right. All right, let's get to it because I've got a whole bunch of questions. This guy's going to have some good answers. It's another edition of Fridays with Fletcher Mackel, WDSU sports reporter, sports anchor, sports director, sports blogger, even sometimes sports athlete in that over 70 baseball league he plays in. What up, Fletch?
Not a lot, Corey. What's up?
SOS. What do you think that second S stands for?
FOS?
SOS. Save our ship, same old stuff. You could say same old, and we can't say that word because of FCC rules. Are you ready to jump into it? I've got a bunch of questions. You have answers?
I'll do my best. I have opinions. How about that?
I like that. Yeah, you got lots of factual information, too. Fridays with Fletcher Mackel with us. I guess first question for you, Fletch. Instead of doing it at the end, I'll do it in the beginning. What's the Channel 6 coverage looking like for Saints Training Camp 2022 going into the preseason? Jim Mora, all that stuff.
Yeah, good. We already did one show. We did a show the first day of training camp, 6:30 p.m., kind of a kickoff special. And then we'll have heavy coverage in all of our newscasts, morning, noon, 4, 5, 6, 10. And then, Jim Mora, Lance Moore will be popping in once a week to do analysis. And then throughout the year, we'll have several pop-up specials, if you will, for select games.
Dennis Allen era has begun. What's different?
Not a lot right now. I will say this. I do think it's a little bit looser out there because I think Sean Payton obviously was such a large figure and was maybe the most important figure in the organization. And I hate to use the term people lived in fear, but you knew who was in charge and you knew not to kind of cross him or to upset him. And now I think, Dennis was kind of doing a great job at the likable assistant coach. So I think from top to bottom, everybody's just a little bit looser out there. But really, it looks the same. It feels the same. I mean, here's the thing. Dennis Allen was one of the men who helped Sean Payton turn this franchise into something special. He's one of his longest tenured lieutenants, a guy who became one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. So Dennis Allen said this. Dennis Allen said, look, if it's not broken, I'm not fixing it just to fix it. That, sure, I'm going to have my own voice and do my own things, but I'm not taking over a program that's hit rock bottom like Sean had when he got here after Katrina and the team went 3-13 and had kind of cleared house, so to say. Dennis is taking over a team that next to the Kansas City Chiefs has won more games than anybody else in the NFL since 2017. So a lot looks the same.
Yeah, I figured can't be as intense. Jameis Winston, how's he look? Is it his team?
Oh, it's his team. Now, how does he look? He's made some bad throws. I'm not going to lie. But it's 2 days into training camp practice. So, I feel like trying to judge him when they're not even in pads yet and we don't know really who and what they are is a little unfair. He's made some good throws. He's made some bad throws, but we're 3 days in now. But 3 days into the workout, I feel like I try to temper that a little bit. I remember in 2006, Drew Brees was on a pitch count and he just started picking up a football. And everybody wanted to know, is he even going to be ready for the season? Can he throw? And obviously he turned into something special. Jameis is the guy, make no mistake. He's the starting quarterback. It's his team. How does he look? Okay. I mean, nothing special. He hasn't been the first 3 days where you go, holy cow, this guy's hit every throw. This guy's done everything. It's unbelievable. But it hasn't been terrible. I mean, he's made some good throws, some bad throws.
Nice number 2 quarterback. I mean, you got a starter for some teams in the NFL, a decade of starts under his belt.
I think if Andy Dalton has to play because of an injury to Jameis, or if Jameis doesn't perform like they want, I think they're in pretty good hands. I think Andy Dalton has a lot of fans in the Saints organization with Pete Carmichael and Dennis Allen. I think they feel very comfortable if he had to go under center and play at any point this year.
And not just finish up one game and play, start the next one, but could carry you for a few games for sure.
Without question. I think this guy started half the season last year for the Chicago Bears. So not that the Bears were a good team, but, we're still talking about a guy who in his prime was a 3-time Pro Bowl player and who the last 2 years has started games in the NFL. Again, I think that who and what he is, the quick decision making, the short passing game that's a la Breeze. I think that I think he's a lifelong Texan like Dennis Allen. I just think that there's things about Andy Dalton that resonate with Dennis Allen and even Pete Carmichael Jr. Where again, it's not a competition. Jameis is the guy, but if Jameis struggles, performs poorly, or is injured, I think they are very comfortable going with Andy Dalton.
What's the latest with the Kamara situation?
Wait and see. I mean, he's got a court appearance on Monday in Las Vegas. He was arrested and charged with felony battery. We had Laura Canizaro Rodriguez, who was the lead prosecutor for her father, Leon, when he was DA. She prosecuted a lot of high-profile cases in New Orleans, including the Will Smith murder case. And she told us that at this point, it's just mitigation. She goes, you haven't heard Kamara or his attorneys come out. It was self-defense. Wait till the evidence comes out. Wait till the video comes out. She goes, I think now it's about mitigating the damages, that whatever happened and whatever wrong the other gentleman may have been in, Kamara obviously did something that is going to get him in trouble. So she goes, I think what they're doing now is probably working with the injured party to say, how can we make this, how can we take care of your medical bills? What can we do from a financial standpoint? She goes, if the victim shows up in court and says, this is a guy who's never been in trouble, this is a guy who's never had issues, I would like you to show leniency. She goes, the judge will show leniency. But the problem is even if they take it from it, they're not dismissing it because it happened. So even if you take it from, say, felony assault or felony battery to misdemeanor battery, she goes, Kamara's not going to go to jail. A first-time offender, he's going to get community service. He's going to get a fine. He's going to get all of that. But still, in the NFL eyes, it's a crime of violence, even if it's a misdemeanor, and he's going to get probably at minimum 2 games. And if it's not resolved in a clean way, then he could probably get as many as 6.
When the season starts, are all the running backs on the present roster, or are the Saints going to acquire another running back?
That's a great question. I actually think that all the running backs are probably there. Look, they've done this the last few years. I mean, I remember last year, Devonta Freeman came in last year, from the Falcons and was here, and then he was gone. So it's a position they didn't upgrade in the draft or in free agency. I certainly think they have depth issues there. I love Mark Ingram touching the ball 10 times a game. I don't know if I love Mark Ingram touching the ball 25 times a game in some capacity. So I think that he needs probably some help if Kamara's out. And could it be this kid out of Baylor? Maybe. Could it be Divine Azigbo? Could it be, Dwayne Washington playing more than just special teams? But they just signed a guy from the Rams. I don't know if anybody else is coming because it's not like there's great running backs growing on trees that are just waiting for jobs.
Fletcher Mackel's with us. Another edition of Fridays with Fletch, a training camp report edition. Hey, every day this program on radio, on television, on YouTube, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. You know the big store, Lamarck Ford in Kenner, #1 Ford dealership in the region. Lamarck Lincoln in Kenner, #1 Lincoln dealership in the region. All part of the Lamarck Automotive Complex on the car corner, Williams Boulevard at I-10 in Kenner, right on the corner, right on the price. And as usual, Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park, bridging the gap. On the lake, the Automotive Complex, and on the river, now Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood, Harahan, Jefferson Highway, right before Hickory. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park got you covered, the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Hey, Fletcher, chew on this. I want to hear about Michael Thomas, what he's doing on the field, what it's like having him back, and also off the field. Was it a legit Jeff Duncan question or two that set him off the other day? It's kind of unbelievable. It's just like, boy, that same kind of ornery Michael Thomas still exists. Chew on that. We'll come back with that and more. Fridays with Fletcher Mackel with us from WDSU Channel 6 Sports. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. We roll till 6.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarm. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Laitram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Yeah, you right. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you, broadcasting live on the radio, on TV, on the intranet device. From the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. What more do you need? Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. 841-3300, 841-3300, or find them online at NOLAAC.com. Fair and Honest Lucas at the boys at River City's Total Maintenance, NOLAAC.com. We broadcast live every day from the Buddy Diliberto, River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Buddy D used to work at 6 and 8, right?
Correct. 6 first, then 8. Yep.
All right, Fletch, get on the Michael Thomas on the field. And did Jeff Duncan's legitimate questions, you think they were legit, really set him off like that? Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I think without question, though, those questions were perfectly legitimate. I think there's obviously a history that goes back there with Michael Thomas. And I think Jeff's stories and reporting on what happened, how it unfolded is dead on, absolutely correct. I think Michael Thomas is just upset because maybe he didn't want it out. And I would lean more towards Michael Thomas acting unprofessional to Jeff than the questions not being good questions or out of line questions.
Agreed. What went down exactly? What were the questions? What was Michael Thomas's response essentially?
Yeah, no, I mean, and look, Michael Thomas wasn't like yelling or screaming. I mean, he was a pretty happy guy, but he definitely
sort of belligerent.
I'm sorry?
Kind of belligerent, just sort of,
Well, let me say this.
Talk to the hand kind of thing.
He hasn't done a lot of local media in about 3 or 4 years. That even before the pandemic, Michael Thomas had really pivoted to just doing national interviews and had really stopped doing any local media. And so we hadn't even talked to him. I mean, it's probably going back, I'm not kidding when I say this, to like the 18 season, maybe the 19 season.
That's crazy.
Since he talked to the local media or done anything with the local media. And then I know last year Jeff had, which I thought was really great, fascinating, insightful stuff on what went on between he and Sean Payton and he and the organization. So, and Michael Thomas was actually really good with the media. I mean, he talked for about 14 minutes. He answered questions. He just, you could tell, got a little agitated. He didn't like when he was pressed, let me say this, about what exactly happened. Like, when did you know? Explain the situation to us. Talk about, like, the process. He didn't seem to want to get too in-depth. And
Fletch, besides like that, who was it? Garner Johnson and him with the fight on the field, the suspension. None of that. The media was pretty soft on all that. I mean, if he were in Los Angeles or New York or Philly doing that, he would have gotten, just brutalized by the media. He kind of got off easy, and the media, you could argue, was a little late on a lot of this stuff. So I don't know. I don't think he has any place to complain. And if he were almost in any other market, I think it would have been worse. Is that fair to say or no?
I don't know so I'm one of these people who always defends, because I think that it's easy for people to say if they were in New York, but like there's more media in New York and there's more media in Philadelphia and there's more media. But, like I've seen like media conferences in New York and attended them where a coach says something and there's 70 people in the room and they don't press them hard enough. So I always take a little bit of offense when people say things like, if it was this market's soft on people or this is easy on people. I think there's more media in a city like New York where there's 11 million people that live there. So there's more people to keep asking the question. But at a certain point, like last year, the manager for the Mets got into it and nobody really followed up on him. And it's New York. And I always love to tell people that, like, what happened? I thought this media market asked all these tough questions. Now, the next day, did 8 columnists from 8 different publications write something on it? Sure. Whereas we may have 1 columnist write something on it. So I think that, I don't know if he got off easy. I just think, I don't know if he got off easy in the fact that he was under scrutiny last year. I mean, look, there were people that said, why didn't you have the surgery? That wrote columns about how wrong it was that he didn't have the surgery, or maybe he didn't act in the best interest of the team. He acted in more in the best interest of himself. There just wasn't the scope that would do it in a much bigger market. But again, he did not like that. But he was asked. I mean, there was a number of reporters, even after Jeff's questioning that he didn't seem to want to go down that line of questioning, there was still people that asked him about it, and he begrudgingly, you could kind of see, talked about it in some capacity and then just missed it.
Go ask the trainer, Fletcher. Go ask the trainer.
Sports, politics, people, because, my brother covers politics, and sometimes people send emails to the station when they're like, you got to press LaToya harder, you got to get the mayor going. But at a certain point, if the answer is the answer, even if you keep asking it, I always feel like it makes them look foolish, because if they don't have an answer or they don't want to answer it, I mean, at a certain point, it's supposed to be like a civil conversation. We can keep asking him, and Michael Thomas was asked, but he kind of kept sidestepping it the same way. Nobody can grab him and shake him and say, answer our question now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I'm going to exit the interstate and get back on in a second, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Cassie Sherm, love her. She's a pit bull. But
she did a great job.
But fair. She's not like a jerk or rude. She's just a journalist asking 110% legitimate questions, proper questions. I love her, the way she does her job.
Look, I'll say this. She's somebody I thought, if I use the Miley Cyrus line, they said she came in like a wrecking ball because she just started and she's done a really great job. But again, she wasn't out of line asking the mayor, what would you tell the people? How do you answer this? And again, the mayor is the one who said, I don't understand what you mean.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, she asked it
then
pretty
you don't understand
plainly.
English. Exactly.
She asked pretty plainly, how would you explain this to the people that are saying you shouldn't go on these trips? And if it's the mayor that says, I don't understand the question, I mean, how else do you want me to answer it? You know what I mean? Or ask it. How else do you want me to ask that? And so I kind of sometimes, I think that, yeah, pointed questions have to be asked. And I like asking pointed questions. And I think that they have to be asked. But sometimes I don't love it when people say, like, you didn't press them hard enough. And it's kind of like, well, at a certain point, I always tell people, I can't grab the athlete, or I can't, like, grab a politician and say, we need a better answer than that. It's like, look,
I think sometimes, especially, I think sports media, especially, it's like want to befriend players and coupled with don't want to upset the team and don't want to upset the fans reporting something negative. But I just think New Orleans is a little New Orleans-ish with the sports media.
And I'm not trying to sit here and say that this is, this isn't a hornet's nest of combative media or media that has a relationship.
Yeah, I don't want that either, adversarial.
Media. Like, of course, you work with people, you form, like, relationships with them, you get to know them a little bit. The other thing I would say to that is, in the last 5 years, the Saints, I alluded to it earlier, the Saints have won the second most amount of games in the NFL than any team not named the Kansas City Chiefs. So, again, sure, I can question why maybe they didn't groom a quarterback earlier or why they don't have running back depth. But at the end of the day, they've still won a lot of football in recent years. And so, if a team's 3-13, it certainly makes it a lot easier to, I hate to say go into attack mode, but to kind of go into the questioning mode of what are you doing and why. Whereas when you have success, it becomes easy for them to just spout back, like, we've had success. We do it the way we do it because we've been successful.
By the way, Cassie Sherm has like 300 Twitter followers. I'll bet you in a month. I'll bet you by the fall when we start football, she'll have over 3,000, 10 times. Watch.
No, you're right. I think so. Can I follow up real quick? So I know we're running out of time.
Yep.
So this is one thing I would say, because I had this conversation with some of the national guys. When Dennis Allen got hired as the head coach, the national media crucified the move, saying that this was the fix within. He was a failure in Oakland. He doesn't deserve a second chance. And locally, I think those of us that have seen this defense become one of the better defensive units in the NFL, and Dennis grow as a coach, said, you know what? He is Sean Payton's top lieutenant. They have become good. I'm listening to Mario Davis tell me he should get the job. And yet that comes across as, oh, the soft homerish media. And then the national media is savage him. Yeah, that's the national media. They're tough guys. And it's like, I would spin it and say, maybe we're more well informed because we cover it every day than the people who look at Dennis's Wikipedia page and see that he went 8-28 in Oakland.
Fletcher Mackel's with us. Another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Hey, Katie's in Mid-City. How about a little New Orleans flavor over the weekend? Lunch and dinner, Katie's in Mid-City, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. Big portions, too. Great for sharing. A lively neighborhood spot, from pizzas to po' boys and so much other good stuff. A Mid-City mainstay. Katie's in Mid-City. And hey, you folks out in Harahan, the Katie's of Harahan, bienvenue. Bringing a little Mid-City New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. Bienvenue, the Katie's of Harahan. Yeah, and check out Katie's in Mid-City. Fletcher Mackel's with us. Hey, Fletcher, the new LSU additions. Where's the honey badger? We got 45 seconds till the break. Can you answer that in 45 seconds? And can you hang on for one final segment? Because I have a bunch of more questions.
I unfortunately have to answer it in 45 seconds.
And then you have to leave?
I'm going to, yeah. So
where are you going? Where are you going where you have to leave and you can't come on one more segment?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm standing outside of a business that I have to go into to pick something up before it closes at 5. So I do apologize. Now I've got 20 seconds. So here's the thing.
You can't do it during the break? You can't, from 48 to 52, you can't knock out your business?
I mean, you're putting me in a tough spot here.
I'm putting you in a tough spot right now. You go, and we're going to see if you're back in 5 minutes. And if you're not, we're not going to like you anymore. Fletcher Mackel's with us. We'll see if he returns in a second or sells us out. Stand by.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see. What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot. Service, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, the cool spot.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah. Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville. That's a good Friday tune. Snooks Eaglin. Snooks can play the guitar, I think is how you pronounce that instrument, guitar. Corey Johnson with you, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. We lost Fletcher Mackel. I think I was rude and ran him off, huh? I mean, it's none of your business what I'm doing at 5 o'clock. Gave you a couple of segments. Gave you my heart and soul. Spilling my guts out. Telling you about your New Orleans Saints. And that's how you treat me now. I'm hanging up. I'm not coming back on the other side. Call Travers. You're sitting there hyping Cassie Sherm so much. Call Travers. Fletcher Mackel joining us from WDSU Channel 6 Sports. Another Fridays with Fletch. That was great info. I just wanted to hear about the new LSU stuff. I could keep going with Fletch for a while. Just because, camp cranked up. Lots of questions. Got a bunch of answers. About 2 segments from Fletcher. That's a week worth of stuff down the dial right there. Thank you, Fletcher Mackel. Hey, thank you. Boy, as predicted, I've been talking about this for a while. The mayor, the C. Ray Nagin method of travel, announcing it after the planes already left the city, because if it was announced in advance, the outcry would be insane. Hey, media, do your job. Ask these questions. When's the next trip? What's the next plan? When's the next junket? Make sure it's announced in advance. Get on the mayor. And Travers Mackel. I keep mentioning Cassie Sherm, this new reporter, part of the investigative crew at Channel 6, just peppering the mayor and the mayor's spokesperson with the proper questions and doing it the right way. Not rude, not raising their voice, not doing anything wrong at all. Really handling it 110% properly as journalists, especially with sort of a belligerent attitude, talk to the hand attitude of the mayor and the mayor's spokesperson. just picking and choosing what they're going to answer or not, and then just going silent if they don't like the question. Just insane. Crazy. Can't handle the question from the media? It's mind-boggling. Oh, no, we're not answering those questions today. It's Tuesday and Thursday questions. When I'm Monday, Wednesday, Friday questions. It's crazy. Totally insane. Anyway, no, because of what I've been talking about, announced in advance, canceled trip. Announced in advance, canceled trip. No, announced in advance, public outcry, canceled trip. Announce in advance, public outcry, canceled trip. And that's exactly what happened. The mayor screwed up. For the first time, announces this Singapore trip in advance. There's a public outcry, and the mayor literally canceled the trip. And that Channel 6 public records request for Switzerland and France records, and only getting one thing, and that was damning enough. The mayor's airfare to Switzerland and back, $10,000, $9,800, $9,800. Only from New Orleans to Atlanta, the first and shortest leg of the entire trip. The other 3 legs of the trip to Switzerland from Atlanta and back, 2 stops back to New Orleans, first class, $9,800 for the flight alone. Just the mayor doesn't care. I'm going on the trip, and I'm going first class on the trip. Just keeps piling on. The city council finally steps up. Hey, let's cap these junkets. Let's acknowledge their junkets, non-essential travel, and let's cap them. $1,000 a trip. That just knocks the mayor out of all her trips. The mayor's spent 130, 140 grand so far this year on trips. Literally. 6, 7 trips so far. Clearly north of 100 grand. Clearly. No, there's an outcry. The city council finally stepped up and said enough's enough. Corey's right. These are just blatant, overt junkets. And the city's struggling right now. It's insulting. It's rude. A lot of people that are worried about sewage and water board bill, energy bill, crazy jump in energy bills, and the mayor's going to go on these junkets and spend $9,800 on her airfare alone. $9,800. It's crazy. No, that's just beautiful that the public outcry was so strong that the mayor canceled the trip to Singapore. Now, supposedly there's an Africa sister city agreement trip next month, sometime in August. I don't know if the mayor's going to officially announce that because there'd be an outcry and the trip would be canceled. I think we're going to find out about this Africa trip when the plane's already in the air. You can ask the mayor the question. They asked the spokesman the other day. The spokesman said, I have no comment on that. Not, what are you talking about, Africa? No, the mayor's not going to Africa next month. That wasn't the answer. The proper answer was not heard. Instead, the wrong answer was heard. The wrong answer was heard. I have no comment on that. Anyway, the mayor's Singapore trip canceled because it was announced in advance. There was a public outcry. The mayor had no choice. I love it. That's how it's supposed to be. Pontchartrain Beach, after 40 years sitting idle, getting a rebirth. The plan was approved. $15 million of improvements, a brand new Pontchartrain Beach, and $5 for children, $10 for adults to go to the beach. This brand new beach that's going to be nice and well kept. It's not going to be like the lakefront after a Sunday party, a cool down where you go out there the next day and there's just trash and piles of spent crawfish tails just all over the place, just a disaster. No, you invest 15 mil, you got to keep up the 15 mil. Even Blue Boy knows that. What's up, buddy? 5 o'clock powwow and extra, right? Michael Hecht and Frank Brigsten. Folks should stick around. Blue Boy, you're on the money. 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, New Orleans. Blue Boy is Correctamundo. Don't move. Down, buddy. Good boy.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
Hey y'all, it's Junket Cantrelle. And I gotta tell you, the summer of 2022 and the travel I've experienced, well, it's memories of a lifetime. I mean, come on, y'all. I went to Switzerland. First class, $10,000 just for the flight. The French Riviera. Singapore. How about Singer-Rich? And next, I'm heading to Africa again. All on the city's dime. Yeah, you right. It's LaToya the Destroyer. Where will I go next? One thing's for sure, I won't be paying for it. Spending someone else's money is so much fun.
She danced. She moved. She shake. LaToya, the Destroyer, Cantrelle, Mayor, City of New Orleans.
Yes. Still the term used today. Uh-oh, man, the 5-0. You hear the 5-0? Where's the 5-0? Thank you, McGarrett. Good theme song, great video montage. Some of the best in the history of television, right? Powerful stuff in the 70s. I thought so, at least. What do I know? Oh, there's Angus Young from AC/DC, guitarist extraordinaire. He's playing on Broadway. George Benson's on Broadway. What the? Filling in the gaps a little differently, huh? Angus, could you come back to George Benson's on Broadway? Where are you going with this? Over here, dude. George Benson's on Broadway. You're close. Come on, over here. Come on. I think we got him back. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. We're losing him again. George Benson's on Broadway, Angus? There he goes. He was playing George Benson's on Broadway. Wow. Yeah, you're right, Angus Young. Thank you for getting us rolling in the right direction on a Friday. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 5 o'clock Power Hour coming your way. I love the 5 o'clock Power Hour on a Fantasy Friday because it's a little bit after 5 o'clock on a Friday. That means 100% of the work week in the books. 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of us. This little limbo period, we put the spotlight on it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. I said by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. The 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super D in Chalmette, lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. This is real simple. If you buy alcohol, wine, cold beer, if you're constantly throwing a party, entertaining folks, constantly restocking the bar at home, you're tailgating, getting ready for tailgating season, you know how much money you can save by getting the wine, beer, and alcohol, those bulk purchases you make, purchasing it all at the lowest price allowed by Louisiana law? There's only one place. It's not on select items. It's not some of the time. It's on everything all the time. It's just how they do business. Lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. Worth the drive down to the Parish, Chalmette, and Super Discount Store. Well, anyway, Super Discount Store, Karate Chop. 5 o'clock whistle brought to you by Super D in Chalmette. Wow. Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 5 o'clock Power Hour. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. will be joining us this hour in about 10 minutes. Frank Brigsten's going to join us from his restaurant in the Riverbend. I like that. I like Fridays because we don't have to get, into the hardcore topics. Get get a little relief, talk a little food in New Orleans. That's a positive, something great we do. We don't eat to live, we live to eat. And then Michael Hecht, hopefully with some good economic news, like visiting with him all the time. That's brought to you by Lamarck, the global manufacturing giant. LaToya Cantrelle made a mistake, one of many, but she made an overt mistake that hurt herself. Somebody or media person, the Singapore trip got out before the plane has left New Orleans. There was a public outcry, and the pressure put on the mayor because of that public outcry caused her to cancel that trip. That, coupled with Channel 6's great public records request, only getting a little of what they requested, more to come. They requested Switzerland expenses. They requested the French Riviera trip expenses. They got the mayor's airfare to Switzerland, $10,000, $9,800. I mean, is there someone out there watching or listening, checking us out on YouTube that spent $9,800 on a plane ticket before for just one person? I'm sure there is. But for like 99.9%, yeah, 999 out of 1,000 people that have flown, not just people that have flown, I would say 999 out of 1,000, 990 out of 1,000. It's better than 99 out of 100. I've never spent $9,800 on a plane ticket. $9,800 just on the plane ticket. No, that's because most folks, no matter where you travel in the world, you can get there for under $9,800. It only gets to those crazy prices when you fly first class, when someone else is paying for it and you don't give a blank and you fly first class. So that kind of news, the mayor spent $10,000 to go to Switzerland. Now she's going to Singapore. First class for that's in between $20,000 and $25,000. Mayor probably had that ticket booked, or worse, like the Switzerland flight, it didn't have it booked in time, had to book it late, pay more. Anyway, great news. Announced in advance, the BS trip, the junket, public outcry, forced to cancel. The next junket, I guarantee you, this Africa trip next month, that will happen. The mayor will go to that. We will not find out until the plane's left the building, and then she will argue with the council that it's essential travel, not non-essential, and the city should pay for it. Crazy. That is good news, though. We've always fought for you on this program. That's what we do. I sound like the mayor. We fight for you. I'm here. I mean it, though. And unlike the mayor hiding behind her media spokesperson, the media spokesperson just being belligerent and not answering questions. Could you imagine like the press secretary for the president or any mayor just questions asked and just turning and looking at your phone and not answering because you don't like that question, only answering certain questions? Just crazy. Belligerent. Anyway, no, the mayor's done this to herself, but she says, I'm always fighting for you. That's what I'm doing. I'm here. I am here every day, 4 to 6. And unlike the mayor, I'm available. Rouse's Markets phone lines are always open. We don't screen calls. We don't cut you off when we disagree. You can ask me any question about anything. 504-766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Now, that is great news. Public pressure got to the mayor, and she canceled the junket, the Singapore trip. No, we keep pounding that, pushing that out. I've always said, media, do your job. Ask the mayor about this. Ask her when the next trip is planned. And then you see in the Times-Picayune, I'm reading the article on the show. Look, this paragraph, the writer's talking about finding out in advance about trip, asking the mayor in advance about the next trip. And then finally enough momentum, some public record requests, and then a mistake by the mayor, the Singapore trip getting out, and public pressure forced her to cancel it. Yeah, you're right. That's how it's done. This NOLA Coalition, this gumbo of Louisiana folks, it's kind of like, hey, elected officials, you're not going to do your job? Here's the gumbo. Here's New Orleans. Great representation. Do your job. This is what we want. The people have spoken. Speaking of Fausto's Italian Bistro, the people have spoken. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. I don't know what else to say. Chicken, veal, fish, age-old Italian recipes. Roland, his brother Fausto. Their sister is Irene's from Irene's restaurant in the Quarter. This is the first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking in the city. Easy. Parking right in front. I don't know if the weather's nice outside, not hot. You can dine outside. Air-conditioned indoor dining. Sit at the bar if you like. They got a little private room off to the side for your larger party. And you're going to love it. It's Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. You will not be disappointed. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Coming right back. Don't move. Oh. So you're saying what, Jason? 5 seconds? 3 seconds? 1? Huh?
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Oh, you got me stumped, Jason. What's this? Galactic? Yeah, you right. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. I love getting this guy on the show. I got about 7 topics in about 12 minutes. It's a rapid fire edition. Michael Hecht joins us from Greater New Orleans Inc. How you doing, Michael?
I'm ready, Corey. I'm ready for this, man. Let's end this Friday coming in hot. I want to be like a horse galloping into a barn, skidding on ice, hitting the back wall.
Wow. All right.
Boom.
I love the NOLA Coalition. It looks like New Orleans. It's a gumbo, not a tomato or potato soup. It really represents New Orleans. Can it do? Believe me, I'm not complaining, Michael. I'm greedy. Can we expand it to other city problems?
Yeah, one of the ideas with it, and the reason why we called it the NOLA Coalition and not the Crime Coalition, is that our sense is that obviously crime is what's acute right now, but if we have success here, we could apply this same broad group to other issues like, education or infrastructure or flood protection. What's so powerful about it is that it defies classic political or parochial characterization. And there are a lot of issues where 80% of people across the city kind of agree. So that's where we can potentially play and hopefully be a force for good. So, yeah, we obviously got a whole lot on our plate right now, but this, I think, could be something very interesting for the city going forward.
Yeah, and it's not like you're taking on 20 things at once. You kind of try to cross 1 or 2 hurdles at a time. And I'm not saying circumvent the politicians, but let's be honest. New Orleans politicians, Louisiana politicians, black, white, Republican, Democrat, they have failed us. So kind of helping them along, if you want to put it that way, giving them, a roadmap and saying, hey, look at the representation here. Everybody's on board. Let's get this done. I think that's much needed. The politicians have proven for decades, Michael, they can't get it done.
Well, but also, Corey, let's just be a little bit self-critical here. That's also been our fault. We've suffered from this big man syndrome where we think that we elect these people and then there's a certain fealty owed to them and they're responsible for all of our successes or failures. And the reality is that, an engaged citizenry and business community and nonprofit community is always required. So, we own that blame too. And I'm glad that we're now coming together, like we did post-Katrina and doing what we're supposed to do, which is to be an active, engaged citizenry.
Hey, Michael, if you drive downtown, the Marriott Tower, it's old school. They got the, maybe 10 floors of rooms lit up. So you see the big 50 number. They built that 42-story hotel back it opened in 1972. Same year that One Shell Square opened. Boy, 1972 till around 1983.
Right.
That decade, a lot of the modern skyline that sort of still looks the same 40 years later. And Michael, 1970, New Orleans had 1 million people in the metro. 1980, 1.3 million. 30% growth in the decade of the 70s. Zero growth, a slight loss in the last 42 years. I'd like to get back to that opening the Marriott, One Shell Square going up, transformative type stuff like that for our city. The reimagination of our CBD in downtown, down Poydras. Those were pretty heady times.
They were. Look, it's all about supply and demand. If we, have more demand for homes and buildings, regardless of remote work stuff, then they'll get built. The reason why we haven't built a major office tower since 1984 with Benson Tower is that there just hasn't been enough demand to support the construction costs. That's just the truth of it. And so until we get that demand by having enough businesses here and enough people here, we're not going to see those buildings built. We might see some of them converted to hotels.
Right.
Some of them converted to, to co-working spaces. But in the places where you see the cranes in the sky, the Dallases of the world, it's because there's a demand from business and citizens. And that's why getting the fundamentals right, like life safety, is so essential. That's why the NOLA Coalition exists, because if people don't feel safe with their family or with their convention or as tourists, then we'll never get to the demand to build the new buildings and reinvigorate the skyline. So it's all like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Get the basics right, and then you get the nice stuff.
Michael, in 1950, we were bigger than Dallas. In 1960, bigger than Metro Houston. In 1970, we were bigger than Metro Atlanta. In 1980, we were bigger than Metro Charlotte. In 1990, we were bigger than Metro Nashville. In 2000, we were bigger than Metro Austin. Birmingham, Alabama's got about 80,000 less people in their metro area. They've passed 1,000,001. About 80,000 less people than Metro New Orleans, Birmingham, Alabama. Mobile, Alabama finally is getting their you-know-what together. A $2.7 billion suspension bridge over the Mobile River, I-10, 3 lanes in each direction with, big shoulders on each side, hurricane evacuation quality, and then a new Jubilee Parkway from Mobile to Spanish Fort going across that bay to the eastern shore, kind of the Mobile's north shore. This city's going to explode. That is a transformative project for Mobile. We need a transformative project in Metro New Orleans, Michael.
There are a few that are on the table. I would argue that the new container facility that's looking to go down in Violet and St. Bernard is transformative in the sense that it's going to put us back in the lead of international trade and logistics, and that's the reason why we exist.
Ironically, Mobile just passed us in containers annually. They do more containers, the Port of Mobile, than we do.
Yeah, not ironically, it's tragic, and it's also predictable, because for 20 years they took what was a coal and timber port and they invested in making a container facility. They spend more on a single port than Louisiana spends on all 32 of our ports combined. So even though they don't have the river, they don't have as many rail lines, this is the predictable result of sustained investment. And that, is really what we have been lacking because of a kind of populist chicken in every pot type approach. We somewhat ensured mediocrity. And the other thing, and this gets back, did you read the Campanella piece from a couple of weeks ago?
I usually read them. Which one was it?
It was him basically talking about the curse of riches.
Oh, yeah. Going back decades, centuries. Yep.
Yeah. And if you look at a place like Atlanta or Houston or now even Mobile, those places that have less are forced to invest and be more innovative. And hopefully now folks are being woken up to the fact that we can't rest on our historical laurels, and we have to invest in infrastructure and invest in our people. I'm late because I'm just coming from the closing ceremonies for our HBCU startup internship program, where we're taking local startup companies like Lucid and LevelSet and Life City, and they're paying interns from Xavier and Dillard and Suno. And it might seem like a simple thing, but this is the way we're creating the next great companies, the next Latrums for the next generation. And it's what we have to do, and we have to keep it done on a sustained basis. We can no longer afford to be on cruise control, because it's kind of like, when you're on cruise control, Corey, you think you are, but you forget to set the accelerator, and you notice that you're just slowly slowing down.
You're doing 16 miles an hour in the left lane of the interstate. Yes, I see it. Michael, the sad thing, we could have like a 40-year anniversary on the decline. It's about 40 years since the oil bust of the early 80s. And it's been a stagnant, absolute zero growth. Texas, fastest growing state in the region the last 40, 50 years. The South, Texas, fastest growing state in the country. The South, the fastest growing region in the country. And we didn't miss the boat. We missed the rocket ship. Hey, here's a positive, Michael, about investment and sustaining that investment. Pontchartrain Beach, the redo is a go. After 40 years of sitting idle, about $15 million will be invested into Pontchartrain Beach. It's going to be pretty state-of-the-art. And then $5 for kid, $10 for adults to enter, to sustain it, to keep it up. You don't put $15 million into the beach and then just let it go. And then, on Monday it's full of trash and leftover crawfish tails everywhere. It needs to be nice. It needs to be kept up.
Yeah, that's incredibly exciting. Pontchartrain Beach, combined with the revitalization of the UNO Tech Park, now called the Beach, we're beginning to develop our waterfront, which is some of our most valuable land. Whether you talk about the new riverfront development that's going on by the convention center, or you talk about what's happening on Pontchartrain or on the North Shore.
Yep.
The ideas are on Fontainebleau. Like the T-shirt says, we're so far behind, we're ahead. We're finally getting around to it, and that's very exciting, very positive.
Michael, I gave you a homework assignment last week, and you answered about NOLA Coalition maybe expanding to other, problems within the city, that Gumbo Coalition that you helped form. I've got another homework question or topic for you to maybe get an answer for us for next week. You ready?
Let's do it.
You remember last week I was talking about the Chick-fil-A on Tulane and Carrollton and how important that is for that corner. And normally, who cares about a Chick-fil-A? No big deal. But on that corner, it's going to be huge. It's going to be a drive-up only, no dine-in service, no walk-up window, but like 40 car capacity. So that thing's just going to be ringing the cash register. They'll do $20,000 a day at that Chick-fil-A. Easy.
It could be a $10 million store.
Yep. Literally. Yeah. 10 million. I mean, they're going to do that. You're right. The Buc-ee's company out of Texas, about 5 or 6 years ago, they were going to expand outside of Texas. Their first location was going to be, this is outside of your jurisdiction. You may have to call a buddy. It was going to be in Baton Rouge up the I-12 by the Bass Pro Shop, something I always talk about that should be at the Six Flags site. Anyway, Buc-ee's had planned it. It was going to be their biggest Buc-ee's, first out of the state of Texas. It was a go. It's announced. You can Google it. And then a few months later, it's all canceled. Their excuse, they couldn't find other reasonable sites for future Buc-ee's in Louisiana. I think that's code for Walt Disney. They kept asking instead of, giving, and they were hard to deal with, and all these other states are bending over backwards for us. Now there's like 50 or 60 Buc-ee's. There's like 20 of them outside of Texas. They're all over the South. One's coming to that Menge exit by Pass Christian, Mississippi. Your homework is, how did Louisiana screw up the Buc-ee's? Because we could have a few of those things, including at the Six Flags site.
The homework assignment is how do we buck up Buc-ee's?
Yeah, how do we buck up Buc-ee's exactly? All right. That's the homework assignment. And then I got a final push for you. I think you're going to like this, Michael.
Yeah.
Let's book Air France tickets, huh? December 8th, December 13th is Louis Armstrong to Charles de Gaulle nonstop, New Orleans to Paris. December 8th, December 13th. Let's book those, huh?
There's still tickets available. The economy is very affordable. Last time I checked, about $500 round trip.
Some of us take economy, Corey. And we want this flight to be a success because they're looking at it as an indication about whether they should consider getting a flight going regularly. So meet me in Paris. Meet me in Gay Paris, Corey, will you?
Yeah, it's 2 days. You can either fly out of New Orleans on December 8th or on December 13th, right?
Right. So just do a long weekend.
Now, there's a special, some kind of convention with a bunch of folks from France that are coming here?
There's a hematology convention, which is the pretext for this, but really I think they're just trialing the route.
Do you know the plane, a 787 Dreamliner or something like that? Or
it is
it's a
787. It's 787-9. That's correct.
There you go.
That's correct. It's 787 with the first class. Because some of us take first class, Corey,
Michael, I started the segment with I'm greedy. I'll end it with I'm greedy. I want the BA flight and the Air France.
Oh, yeah, we can have it all.
Yep, exactly.
We can have it all.
That should be New Orleans' new motto. We can have it all. The NOLA Coalition. We can have it all. All right. Michael, always a pleasure.
Have a great weekend, Corey. Stay cool, stay safe.
Yep, we can have it all. That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. joining us. That segment always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. Boy, mornings, it's sunny, afternoons, a little wet and rainy. If you're going to get some painting in this weekend, you know where to go. Helm Paint and Decorating. 7 locations in the metro area and free 2-hour delivery anywhere in the metro area so you can keep working. Pick those Benjamin Moore colors online, phone it in, or go online and place your order. They'll bring it to you. Or go pick up from one of their 7 locations in Metro New Orleans. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, you go to Helm Paint and Decorating.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top Benjamin Moore exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Hey y'all, it's Junket Cantrelle. And I gotta tell you, the summer of 2022 and the travel I've experienced, well, it's memories of a lifetime. I mean, come on, y'all. I went to Switzerland. First class, $10,000 just for the flight. The French Riviera. Singapore. How about Singer-Rich? And next, I'm heading to Africa again. All on the city's dime. Yeah, you right. It's LaToya the Destroyer. Where will I go next? One thing's for sure, I won't be paying for it. Spending someone else's money is so much fun.
She danced. She moved. She shake. LaToya the Destroyer Cantrelle, Mayor, City of New Orleans.
A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Hey, if you're tired of your dry cleaner always messing up your stuff, why don't you switch to a New Orleans institution since 1940? They'll do you right. Young's Dry Cleaning, the biggest because they've always been the best. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, and their manless locker locations all over the city. To find out more, youngsdrycleaning.com, youngsdrycleaning.com. They've already opened the doors at the restaurants. We better make it quick. We're heading to the Riverbend. Frank Brigsten joins us from his world-famous restaurant, James Beard award-winning chef. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing great, Corey. Happy weekend.
Yeah, you're right. Back in the swing of things after the annual week off. I was thinking about you, Frank. I was like, you might have to stretch that into 2 weeks, man. That went by fast.
Oh, boy, it sure did. Yeah, I would do 2 weeks in a heartbeat. We had a lovely time. Perfect trip. Very relaxing.
Good, man. Recharge the batteries?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. What's on the menu tonight at Brigtsen's?
Well, we're back, and we got all our favorites. Larry's made filet gumbo today with chicken and andouille sausage.
Wow.
We've got our butternut shrimp bisque, of course. That's a must-have. We don't open the doors without that. Larry picked up some Desalmon's catfish this morning with roasted jalapeno tartar sauce. That's always one of my favorites.
You do it a little different. It's not just the regular, like, fish fry type stuff. You do it old school, right?
Yeah, that's right. We make our special blend of dry batter, which is corn flour, cornmeal, and some spices. And then the wet batter, the fish is seasoned and goes into a wet batter of eggs and milk with Creole mustard and yellow mustard to give it a little tang. And then into the dry batter, we pound it a little bit and then deep fry for about 3 minutes. Small fillets, very crispy. And a homemade tartar sauce with homemade pickles and roasted jalapenos, and we garnish it with cherry tomatoes and red onion tossed in a little vinaigrette dressing to give it a little vegetable counterplay. And it's wonderful. You know, it's a simple, common dish, really, fried catfish, but we go the distance with it.
Now, normally anywhere else, maybe in the country, be like, that's tonight's entree special. Thanks, Frank. Good night, everyone. But that's an appetizer. That's just a starter, right?
Yes, exactly.
Crazy.
And the shrimp are running beautiful. This is the time of year you get big jumbo white shrimp, and that'll continue throughout the summer.
Perfect for my favorite appetizer, and maybe the best example of this appetizer anywhere in the world.
They're very unique barbecue shrimp. New Orleans classic, originated at Manali's, and we do our version in a very, very hot skillet with butter, black pepper, a little rosemary, the shrimp. We saute and kind of flambe them a little bit, really, because it's so hot. And then season it, garlic, Leon Perrins, deglaze it with some Abita beer, reduce that down. And we add a touch of shrimp stock and emulsify with a lot more butter.
Yeah, it's a rich
and
dish.
We serve that with our shrimp cala griddle cake, a little rice fritter with chopped and pureed shrimp in it.
You need it.
To give you a little starchy component to soak up all that good peppery butter sauce.
Exactly. No, you need it. It's the sponge. You get a little bite of that fritter cake and then sop up some of the sauce and make sure the shrimp's sopping up some of the sauce and you're ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, shrimp is one of the most popular foods in the world. And you know, we're here at, where the best shrimp in the world are.
Yep.
Where the Mississippi River meets the salty Gulf of Mexico. It's a perfect breeding ground for delicious shrimp. And we get them year round. Chef Larry picks them up fresh every morning in West Wego at the shrimp lot from our friend over there. And Janelle peels them and boils some of them for our shrimp remoulade. So that's always a great way to start a Creole meal in New Orleans.
I'll never forget, I'm in Pensacola, and I know you've been to this place. It's kind of famous, Joe Patty's Seafood. Every time I go in there, I'm like, how is there not this in New Orleans? Someone who does this in New Orleans makes a killing. They're a millionaire in a year. I go in there, and Frank Patty, I guess Joe is deceased. Frank's pretty old, like 75 or 80. Talking to him like, hey, where did the best shrimp come from? He's like, no, outside of Louisiana, Grand Isle, New Orleans, outside of Louisiana. He just stressed that. And he didn't know where I was from. So made me a happy camper that day with him telling us what you just said. The best shrimp in the world are in Louisiana, New Orleans.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you'll find white shrimp and brown shrimp along the Gulf Coast. But they don't have the estuary that the Mississippi River provides. And it gives the seafood, whether it's shrimp or oysters or even fish, it gives the food, the seafood, more flavor.
No doubt.
You know, it's a mix. That brackish water is a mix of fresh and salt, and there's something about it. It's a perfect breeding ground for great seafood.
No, I mean, it's like your catfish from Des Allemands compared to a farm raised from Mississippi. I'm not knocking the farm raised from Mississippi, but the Des Allemands is like the best in the world. Hey, Frank, how about entrees? What's cooking on the entree menu tonight at Brigtson's?
I recommend our pork chop, which is always a good meat dish to have. It's about a 12-ounce pork chop, Frenched. And we buy whole pork racks and we brine them for 15 hours overnight and then slice them into nice thick pork chops which we season and sear in a hot skillet and then finish it in the oven to order. So it's not pre-cooked. It's cooked when you order it. And the pork chop comes out tender, juicy, and delicious. And we're serving that with an andouille and sweet potato hash.
Wow.
And a blueberry cane vinegar glaze. That's the sauce on it.
That's fantastic.
And it's a very unique combination of flavors. And so many people tell us it's the best pork chop they've ever had. And a lot of that has to do with the brining. It really does keep it juicy. It makes it so tender.
Hey, if I want to go with the basics, still got steak on the menu?
We do. We have a grilled filet of certified Angus beef, and that is served with a tasso Marchand du Vin sauce and garnished with a big pile of fried shallot rings. Absolutely delicious.
Y'all still flying with the airline chicken?
We do. We got some in yesterday and got another case coming tomorrow. Pan-roasted airline chicken breast, organic Bell & Evans brand chicken. Delicious. Again, pan-roasted to order. And we serve that with stone ground grits from our friends in Baton Rouge and an andouille sausage gravy. That's really a winner. Last night I had the paneed eggplant parmesan for dinner with spaghetti bordelaise. I can't get enough of that. So good. So Creole.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And Chef Samantha's at it again with the cheesecake. She keeps coming up with these brilliant ideas. I just looked at one of these. Oh my gosh, Corey. It's a chocolate peanut butter Reese's peanut butter cup cheesecake with an Oreo cookie crust.
Oh my God.
Peanut butter cheesecake filling with some chopped up Reese's cups in it and topped with a chocolate ganache and a touch of whipped cream and chocolate shavings.
That sounds good. Wow. I'm getting a text from Marna. Leave my husband alone. We're open for 20 minutes now. He has to cook. Uh-oh.
Where is he? Where is he?
Where is he? Exactly. 861-7610 is the phone number. 861-7610. Any openings tonight or tomorrow night by any chance, Frank?
I think tonight's sold out. You might find a little crack tomorrow. Give Marna a call at 861-7610. And call for bookings next week. We're ready for you. We got all that good stuff waiting for you.
Tuesday through Saturday night, 861-7610, Brightson's in the Riverbend. Frank, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Corey. Y'all have a lovely weekend. We love you, New Orleans.
Yeah, you're right. Frank Brigsten joining us, his weekly visit on our program. I love getting Frank on the show. Corey Johnson with you, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. If you missed today's program, you missed a lot. Frank Brigsten, Michael Hecht joined us a few minutes ago. Last hour, Fridays with Fletch, talking a little Saints training camp. Yeah, we talk sports a little bit, like we talk food, 10, 15 minutes a week, something like that. Most of the time, it's, going to bat for you. We've been talking about these junkets for a long time, calling out the local media. Do your job. Ask questions about the junkets. Ask questions about future trips. Maybe the trip's being announced in advance. A lot of pressure now on the mayor, and public records requests that a $10,000 flight first-class ticket, Switzerland and back for the mayor, just these sister city agreements, finally the straw that broke the camel's back. And then the mayor making a mistake. The Singapore trip announced early, and as I predicted, an outcry that would cause a cancellation, and that is exactly what happened. Fantastic news. The mayor won't be speaking in person Monday in Singapore. Unreal. But she says she'll continue to, bring her expertise on handling water and that type of stuff to the world. Thank God for that. We all breathe a sigh of relief. Hey, there are over 60 Rouse's stores, over 60 years in South Louisiana. That means there's a Rouse's in your neighborhood or next door to your neighborhood. Best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home. Tonight, make it Rouse's Markets.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans Napoleon Terminal is nearly doubling in size, with 4 new gantry cranes being installed and over $100 million being invested. That means lots of new jobs, port traffic, and tax dollars for the city. The Port of New Orleans, your port.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms, with high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. We crank it up every weekday afternoon. 2 big hours on the radio, 90 minutes of fun on the television set. Yeah, check us out every weekday afternoon starting at 4. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. We've been simulcasting the talk radio show probably about 15 years now on TV. All over Louisiana, Cox Channel 4 television starting at 4. Spectrum Channel 333 television starting at 4. CoreyTalks.com live streaming. And we're on YouTube. Yeah, click to subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel, Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Or you can go to CoreyTalks.com and link up to our YouTube channel. And yeah, like I said, click to subscribe on our YouTube channel. It don't cost nothing. Hey, tonight for dinner, I got a good suggestion. Lebanon's Cafe. Lamb chop, shish kebab, Middle Eastern sides. High quality, authentic, priced right, big portions. There's no downside. Fresh, wonderful. I like Lebanon's Cafe. You will too. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette, right by the streetcar barn. Lebanon's Cafe. They open, by the way, at 11:30 every weekday. Actually, what is it? 11? No, 11. 11, not 11:30. 11 to 9:30. So they're open pretty late. What's that, Blue Boy? You'd love a football kibbe. You love the hashwi, the inside of the football kibbe, do you? You're a smart boy, buddy. Jason, thank you. Thanks for watching and listening. Have a great weekend. See you Monday, straight up 4 o'clock. The mayor not going to Singapore. Cha-ching.